Jason Duggar has tied the knot with his fiancée Maddie Grace in a reception that is really stunning. Maddie eventually got her "I do" from Jason, who is the 12th child of Jim, Bob, and Michelle. The ceremony took place at the estate at Sweetwater Creek in Tennessee, where Maddie was born and raised. There were 300 people there. A gorgeous white wedding gown was worn by Maddie as she made her way down the aisle. She looked absolutely lovely. The engagement took place in August of this year, and the pair had their first encounter in December of 2023, which was less than a year ago. In an interview with People magazine on the occasion of the big day, Maddie said, "Just having everybody together just to celebrate us, because you never get another day in your life where all of your loved ones are together." However, it seemed as if the Duggar family had violated one of the most important regulations that Jim Bob had established during the festivities. All of the family members and friends who were there concluded the evening with a massive dance party, which was a big no-go for the Duggar family because of their religious beliefs. In a move that is not often seen in the family, Jason and his closest relative all went out and drank the night away. No member of the family was permitted to dance or listen to secular music while they were growing up in their devoted Baptist home. According to the regulations that Jim Bob and his wife Michelle had established, secular music was completely off-limits. Nevertheless, it seemed that the regulation was disregarded in order to facilitate the celebration of Jason's special day. The beautiful song "Turning Page" by Sleeping at Last was playing in the background as Maddie made her way down the aisle during the wedding. A significant number of Jason's television siblings were present during the wedding, which was presided over by her longtime pastor. Jedediah served as the best man, while another 3 of Jason's brothers, James, Justin, and Jackson, were also groomsmen during the wedding. To celebrate the arrival of their new sister-in-law, the reality TV star's sisters Joanna, Jennifer, Jordan, and Josie all participated in the role of bridesmaids. A complete Italian cuisine was served at the wedding reception on the big day, which was held in anticipation of the couple's planned honeymoon during their time in Italy. As a result of the couple's decision to skip the customary wedding cake, the guests also indulged in cheesecake and ice cream as desserts. In response to a question about what brought them together, Jason said, "We really became each other's best friends, and it just kind of built from there. The journey is what has showed us that we are just perfect for each other." A statement made by the star of the television show 19 Kids and Counting on their future life was as follows. "I think for both of us, we're pretty simple people really. Simply said, it's like going through life together. Just being able to enjoy the next seasons of life and just be able to take those next steps." The Duggar family has long been known for their traditional conservative values, shaped largely by their father, Jim Bob Duggar. With 19 children raised in a home that follows strict rules rooted in their Christian faith, it has been expected that each Duggar child would adhere to the same lifestyle as they started their own families. From strict courtship guidelines to a conservative dress code, Jim Bob's rules have been a central part of how the family presents themselves publicly. However, Jason Duggar's recent wedding to Maddie Grace has sent shockwaves through Duggar fandom, not just because the 23-year-old is one of the quieter Duggar siblings, but because of what went down during the reception. The ceremony, tradition meets modernity. On a bright Tennessee afternoon, Jason Duggar and Maddie Grace tied the knot in an intimate outdoor ceremony that mixed Duggar tradition with modern, personalized touches. The ceremony was held at a picturesque barn venue surrounded by lush greenery and rolling hills, which provided a stunning backdrop for the couple's big day. Unlike some Duggar weddings that have been televised or heavily publicized, Jason and Maddie chose a more low-key affair, inviting only close family members and friends. Maddie, 22, is not a public figure like the Duggar family, but comes from a similarly devout Christian background. Rumored to have met Jason through church connections, the couple reportedly began courting quietly over a year ago, with news of their relationship only leaking out to fans earlier this year. Their courtship followed many of the same rules that have defined Duggar relationships, such as chaperone dates and saving their first kiss for the altar. The wedding ceremony itself was a blend of traditional vows and modern elements that gave fans a glimpse into the couple's personalities. Maddie wore a modest yet elegant lace gown with long sleeves and a flowing skirt, while Jason opted for a classic black suit with a hint of color in his boutonniere, reflecting his laid-back yet polished style. The couple exchanged personalized vows, which surprised many attendees as most Duggar weddings have stuck to more conventional religious vows. Breaking tradition at the reception, as the sun set and guests made their way to the reception area, the evening took a surprising turn that no one could have predicted, least of all Jim Bob Duggar. For years, Jim Bob has set strict rules for his children when it comes to social gatherings and celebrations. Duggar receptions are known to be modest, with wholesome entertainment, and of course, alcohol is strictly forbidden. But Jason's reception was different. In what is being described as a wild break from Duggar tradition, the couple threw a lively party that included music, dancing, and, shockingly, alcohol. Guests were reportedly taken aback when, shortly after the reception began, servers started offering champagne for toasts. Some thought it was a joke, considering the Duggar family's well-known prohibition of alcohol. But soon enough, it became clear that Jason and Maddie had decided to rewrite some of the Duggar rules for their special day. According to an insider who attended the wedding, Jason and Maddie wanted their reception to feel like a celebration of their love, not just a formal event. They know they come from conservative families, but they also wanted to show their guests that they're ready to start their own chapter together, and that meant doing things a little differently. The decision to serve alcohol wasn't the only eyebrow raiser. The reception featured a live band that played a mix of country, pop, and classic rock, genres that wouldn't typically be heard at Duggar events. Attendees reported seeing members of the younger generation of Duggars letting loose on the dance floor, with some even partaking in line dancing and group dances like the Cha-Cha Slide. While the reception was by no means a raucous party by worldly standards, it was a significant departure from the quiet, buttoned-up affairs Duggar fans are used to. It was like nothing we've ever seen at a Duggar wedding, the insider added. It felt more like a regular wedding reception where people were actually having fun and celebrating the couple instead of just following a script. Jim Bob's reaction. One of the biggest questions on everyone's mind is, how did Jim Bob Duggar react to his son breaking such a major family rule? Sources close to the family have suggested that Jim Bob was taken aback by the events at the reception but chose not to cause a scene during the celebration. Jim Bob and Michelle have always believed that once their kids are married, they have to make their own decisions, a source explained. But it's clear this was not what Jim Bob had in mind when he envisioned Jason's wedding day. According to witnesses, Jim Bob was noticeably absent from much of the reception after the champagne was served. Some speculate that he and Michelle quietly excused themselves early, while others believe they simply stayed in the background to avoid drawing attention to their disapproval. This isn't the first time a Duggar has challenged Jim Bob's authority. In recent years, several of the older Duggar children have begun to chart their own courses, moving away from the ultra-conservative values they were raised with. Jill Duggar Dillard, for example, has spoken openly about her decision to distance herself from her parents and the control Jim Bob wielded over the family. Now, it seems that Jason is following a similar path, though he has remained publicly respectful of his parents' beliefs. Jason and Maddie's vision for their future. For Jason and Maddie, their wedding day was more than just a union of two people. It was a declaration of their desire to live life on their own terms, while still honoring their faith. Those close to the couple say that while they remain devout Christians, they don't feel bound by the strict rules Jim Bob enforced throughout Jason's upbringing. Jason and Maddie are committed to each other, and they wanted their wedding to reflect who they are, not just what people expect them to be, a family friend shared. They love their families, but they also understand that this is their life, and they're going to make decisions that are right for them. This more relaxed approach to their wedding could be a sign of things to come for Jason and Maddie. As they begin their new life together, fans are eager to see how the couple navigates their relationship with the rest of the Duggar family. Will they follow in the footsteps of Jill and Derek Dillard, who have embraced a more modern lifestyle? Or will they strike a balance between honoring Duggar traditions and forging their own path? The Duggar family's evolution. Jason's wedding is yet another example of how the Duggar family is evolving in a post-19 kids and counting world. The once united family has faced numerous challenges over the past decade, from the scandal surrounding Josh Duggar's criminal behavior to growing tensions between Jim Bob and some of his adult children. As more Duggars marry and start families of their own, it's becoming clear that the next generation is less inclined to follow the rigid path laid out by Jim Bob. While some, like Jinger Duggar Vuolo, have taken steps to redefine their faith and lifestyle more publicly, others, like Jason, are doing so in quieter but equally significant ways. The reception at Jason's wedding may have been a departure from the past, but it symbolizes the changes happening within the Duggar family as a whole. As the younger Duggars begin to carve out their own lives, they are showing that they can still hold on to their faith without being bound by every rule Jim Bob set for them. What's next for Jason and Maddie? As Jason and Maddie settle into married life, they seem determined to forge their own path, one that balances their faith with a more modern outlook. Though they have not publicly addressed the reception's break from tradition, those close to them say that they are happy with how their wedding day turned out and feel ready to start their life together. For Duggar fans, Jason's wedding offers a glimpse into the future of the family. With more Duggar children reaching adulthood and beginning their own families, it's likely that we'll continue to see changes in how they live out their beliefs and values. As for Jim Bob, only time will tell how he handles these shifts within his family. While he may not have been thrilled with the events at Jason's wedding, it's clear that the Duggar patriarch's grip on his children is loosening, and the next generation is ready to embrace a new way of living.